This year, from classics like Gypsy and Mary Poppins to quirky movie adaptations like The Wedding Singer and Young Frankenstein, the Northeast Florida theater season is really running the gamut. And here to walk us down the aisle to our seats is local theater guru Ray Hollister. He's also WJCT's digital media director and creator of the JaxPlays website. Hey, Ray,
Good morning.
thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So there is an enormous amount to digest this
So
theater
much.
season. But I want to start by talking about your site because it
Sure.
really does create a solution to a problem that you were experiencing. I think many of us were
Yep.
experiencing, looking for a curated place to absorb
Right.
what's out there in the theater world.
Yeah, it all started because me and my wife were trying to go see a theater show, and we spent like an hour and a half searching through like 6 or 7 different websites, and by the time we found one we wanted to go see, it had already started. So it was like, "Oh, well, great. Now we can't go see anything. That sucks." So I started putting together this site where you can go and find all of the live theater that's happening in all of Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, all in one place with a comprehensive live theater calendar. You can see everything all at once.
It's sort of the model that we do here with Jax with the JME, the Jax Music Experience, which is designed to be that same resource for people who are looking for a
Exactly.
concert and really thoroughgoing. You have a background in theater yourself. You
I
were at
do.
Douglas Anderson Vocal Arts.
I was a vocalist, yep. I did a few shows while I was there, and I did a couple of shows afterwards as well. But actually, it really was fueled by my being a fan, and wanting to see shows and just needing a place where I could go to find all of them.
And so Jax Plays does listings in the sense that it tells you what's coming,
Yep.
but it breaks down, summaries of the plays or the musical shows, the
Cast
casts.
lists. It's kind of like IMDb, if you're familiar with IMDb for movies and television. It's kind of like that for local theater. So you can see, oh, this person's been in this other show that I've seen, and you can see their whole,
Over.
yeah, their experience and what shows that they've done.
Yeah, and you also do reviews then once the shows have.
I did. I started doing them last year, and they've been very popular. Folks love. I feel it's who am I to be doing reviews and criticizing theater, but people really love my feedback on the shows, so they've been very popular.
And so you're deep into the theater scene. Is it difficult to like, do you feel like you have to be nice when you're doing these reviews?
So when I first started doing it, I asked my friends. I was like, "Look, uh, what do you want? Do you want just soft soap, or do you want real, honest feedback?" And my friend DeWitt Cooper said, "Rip us apart." And I took that to heart, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna be honest." So sometimes I can't say it on the radio, but I'm a jerk. Sometimes I'm like, "Hey, look, this wasn't good. Like, this was bad," whether it's the acting or the technical production side of it, or even sometimes the direction. I give real honest feedback. I will say I am blessed to live in a town that has incredible talent, and it makes my job easy. So I can be nice because it's phenomenal. So many of our shows, I can only think of one show in the past year that I was like, "Oh, that was horrible."
I won't
Everything
ask
else
you
is
I
great.
won't ask you to name names. But for people who I mean, where are these theaters? You really cover a footprint that goes all the
We
way
do.
from, like, St. Augustine up to
St.
Georgia.
Augustine to St. Mary's,
Okay.
the whole 40-mile radius from downtown Jacksonville. So we have 30 companies doing productions currently that are currently active, and that includes professional, collegiate, and community theaters.
And so you're talking about performances that vary as widely as, like, the FSCJ
Mhm.
Broadway series to Players by the Sea to the Limelight.
To companies that have literally only done like 3 shows, they just got started, they're brand new. There's been a renaissance of theater in Jacksonville since the pandemic. I think we were all just, so, caught up in our homes, and we just wanted to get out and see more shows. So there's new companies popping up, and, yeah, so we cover them there too because 'cause they're doing great work.
So there are some theaters that have announced their season. There's
Yes.
some that have not. So why don't you give us a little broad view of where we are in terms of the shows that are online?
Sure. So, yeah, FSCJ, Theater Jacks, All Beaches Experimental Theater, and a handful of others. They've all announced their shows for the year. Right now, I gotta say, there's a show on stage right now that I've got to mention, which is Gypsy at the Alhambra Theater. Full disclosure, of course, they support WJCT, but I absolutely love this show. Lisa Valdini Booth is just phenomenal as Rose, and Logan Cheatham is amazing as Luis. They are just it is a fantastic show. Highly recommend that one.
And that's a classic, of course. It's
Yes.
about a famous real life
Yeah.
stripper,
Real life.
Gypsy Rose Lee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I can't remember the term for it. It just slipped out of my head. But yes, basically a stripper, and it is the story from her mother's perspective
Mhm.
of what she went through to put her children into vaudeville and into burlesque.
Kind of the
Show.
ultimate stage mom.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 It's a fantastic show.
Excellent.
But coming up at Theater Jacksonville, we've got Driving Miss Daisy that actually opens up this week. Amazing cast on this. They're a little not quite the right ages, but knowing these actors, they're going to be phenomenal. Alec Hayden as Booley, Jen Mercer as Daisy, and Eugene Lindsay as Hoke. They're going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to that. And Lindsay Curry's directing that one. Also, The Revolutionists, which I know you had the cast on
Oh,
just
yeah.
recently. That's opening up this week out at Players by the Sea. I won't get into all that because you talked about it on the show. So, listeners, check out the episode from First Coast Connect from Friday. It's actually embedded at JaxPlays.org on our site
Excellent.
for
Thank you for that.
Revolutionists. Yep.
Appreciate that.
Bright Star at
Yeah.
Limelight Theater.
So tell us about this because I wasn't actually familiar with the name.
This is Steve Martin's, I'm going to say it, this is his masterpiece. This is one of my favorite shows. It's a bluegrass musical, which, if you don't know, Steve Martin, the comedian, also plays bluegrass. What am I talking about? You guys listen to NPR. You know that Steve Martin plays bluegrass. um, this is an amazing show centered out of North Carolina and the Appalachian Mountains, and it has an incredible cast. Emily Lade as Margot, Chad Boyd as Billy Kane, and Maggie Cox as Alice Murphy, and it's directed by Sherry Province. I am super looking forward to this one. That is, I think, going to be. I won't say it's going to be my favorite because it's like picking your favorite kid. You just there's
What,
so
you
many
can't you
shows.
can't do that?
No, you're not supposed to. Another great one is Bakersfield Mist at a classic theater, also in St. Augustine. This is a two-person play about unemployed bartender who thinks she's found a Jackson Pollock painting at a thrift store.
Oh.
And Lionel, an art expert from New York, flies down to her trailer park to appraise this, and hijinks ensue at that point. This has got Michael Lipp and Nancy Grote, so that's going to be really fun. You mentioned The Wedding Singer at the Alhambra.
Yeah.
I am super looking forward to this one as well because I absolutely love the movie. It basically follows the same plot, the same music, all that. It's comfort food. It's just going to be great. And of course, it's at the Alhambra, so there will be food.
Yeah, that's right. Comfort food and actual
Exactly.
dining. Nice. I see it.
We'll see.
What about the Young Frankenstein? Because I was curious about that too.
Oh
It
my
seems like there's
gosh.
so many stage adaptations of like favorite. This Mel Brooks movie is, of course, a cult classic.
Yeah, that is at the Spotlight Event Center out in Fleming Island. I don't know much about it because I haven't gotten out to Spotlight Event Center, and I'm ashamed of that because I'm trying to cover all the theaters in the area. But I'm looking forward to that one as well. It looks really interesting.
So if folks are interested, they can actually subscribe to Jax Plays. Is that
Yep,
right? And that
yep.
they get then emails shot to
Our
them when
weekly
you.
newsletter. Yep, jaxplays.org.
Yeah. It's a amazingly thriving community, and I think it's really cool that you're helping to bring it all together in a place people can
Thank you
find
so
it.
much.
Yeah. Well, Ray Hollister, we will check in with you later in the theater season.